It's me, MLB. Here's chapter 58 of Chance Ball, and this one is titled Gee Spotbanger Spotted. So you actually did connect with it. Dabi said as he looked over while driving out of the college grounds. Yeah, it would have been the perfect receive had it not been going so flippin' fast. Oh my god, so unnecessary. You sassily pulled your sleeve back down and waved your hand in all manner of audacities. Well, balls of steel. We did it. We won. A few days passed, and you were at college one afternoon when Dabi was called to the head office over the loudspeaker. What did you do? You asked him as he stood up from beside you and started walking to the office. I don't know. That's what I'm going there to find out. As far as I know, I've done nothing wrong, he said. I've got nothing to hide. Did you try and log into an adult site on the college computer? You teased him. Nah, don't need an adult site. I have you, he said back, a little too loudly. You hung your head with embarrassment and covered your face so that no one could see you while you were praying for the ground to swallow you up. Dabi disappeared off down the hall towards the principal's office and stopped at the door when he got there. Yes, the receptionist asked as she curiously opened the door to him. Got called to see the principal, he said curiously. Name, please. Dabi Todoroki. One moment, please, she said, closing the door and talking to someone else before opening it again. Please come in, Mr. Todoroki. Dabi cringed at his formal name. He entered and was ushered into the principal's room where an older man was waiting for him. Come in, Mr. Todoroki, or do you prefer first name? First name, Dabi said quickly. What am I in for? He then asked, wanting to cut to the chase as quickly as possible. Well, Dabi, I'd like to ask you a few questions regarding the tournaments that you and your partner just won recently. It certainly appears that we have your name on our records, but we can't find a Mr. Gee Spotbanger, unfortunately. Oh, Dabi asked curiously, biting the inside of his mouth to stop from grinning or laughing. Yes, you see, we can't give you the prize money unless we can verify that both you and your partner are students here, and it appears that Gee Spotbanger is a fake name. Could you please tell me the real name of your partner? So there's no Gee Spotbanger on your students list? Dabi asked again, stalling for time. Yes, I'm sure we've checked multiple times, and each time we have not been able to locate that name. Would you like to meet Gee? He's here on campus. Dabi said, I can bring him in. Oh? The principal asked with surprise. Yes, if he's here, then I'd definitely like to meet him. Give me a sec, Dabi replied, turning and leaving the office. He smirked to himself as he left and held his head high as he walked back to where he'd left you. Oi, Gee Spotbanger, he called to you just as you took another sip of your drink and immediately choked on it. Oh, can you not? You shot at him after swallowing quickly, only just managing to not wear the drink. Principal wants to meet Gee Spotbanger. Did you say no? I said yes. Why? Because if I don't bring you in, then we don't get the prize money. He replied calmly. Oh, what the hell? Well, I can't go in there like this. It's pretty damn obvious that I'm not a dude. You stood up and looked around as if trying to visibly look for a reason to not go into the principal's office instead. So what do you want to do? He asked calmly again. We don't get the prize money unless you get dressed up and go in. But even then, they might interrogate you and it'll come out that eventually that you're you and not Gee Spotbanger. Okay, you snapped. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to go in there and tell them off. They can't stop women from playing. That's sexist. And with that boost of confidence, you marched past him and down to the principal's office with him following behind you with an amused smirk on his face. You were well and truly fired up as you knocked on the door and the receptionist asked the reason for your visit, so you gave her a very brief and vague answer, then waited for the principal to call you in. Sir, you said abruptly as you entered his office once you'd been allowed to enter, I want to talk to you about the sexist tournament that you're running. I'm sorry? The principal asked. The male-only teams for the volleyball tournament. May I ask why this concerns you? He asked. Well, I'm actually Dabi's partner. I played in that tournament, but I didn't think it was fair that it had to be male partners only. You? Masqueraded as Dabi's male partner? Gee Spotbanger? Yes, him. Can we not say the name out loud ever again? You said with firm irritation. Young lady, you have breached the rules of the game, and so you and Dabi will be disqualified, he said sternly. But you didn't even let females play. That's so not fair, you replied with furrowed brows. Next month we're having the women's only plate, the principal replied. We have not yet received funds to have a mixed team, but we do plan to have that in the future as well. So if you had been patient and read the message board for future events, you would have seen that the women on this campus would have their turn at tryouts very soon. If you could have been non-existent right there and then that would have been just wonderful. But, unfortunately, you weren't so lucky and had to wear your embarrassment out in the open while the principal gave you and Dabi a dressing down about cheating and all the disciplinary actions that it would be costing you, and by the end of the hour you were ready to skip class and call it a day, but skipping class now would end in termination of your college attendance, so you had no choice but to attend. On the way home after class, you apologised to Dabi. Hey, you said softly. I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused you. I can't do anything right. Yeah, you've screwed up a lot, he replied, looking ahead down the road as he drove. You felt almost sick to your stomach and tears slipped down your cheeks as you hung your head. First, you turned up, screwed up my job, he started, making you feel even worse. Then you also got me out of a stupid situation. You looked at him and wiped your eyes. Then we kicked ass on court. I don't care that we didn't get the money. We're a bomb-ass team. He smirked across at you and reached over to wipe your cheek free of your tears. But we really could have done with that money, you said in a broken voice, more tears falling. I don't give two flying birds, Dabi replied confidently. We're fine. You smiled through the tears and reached across the middle console to hug him, wiping your eyes and nose on his sleeve. Ugh, I can feel that through my shirt, he grunted, trying to pull his arm away. No, you wailed. This is my comfort sleeve. Give me my comfort sleeve back. Ew, is that snot? Oh my freaking god. You did not just wipe your snotty ass nose on my sleeve. You've been blessed with my snot, shut up, you cried playfully. A playful half wrestle ensued as Dabi pulled into the driveway and you got out of the car and chased him up to the house. That following week at college, Dabi seemed on edge, looking over his shoulder many times while in the halls. Oi, you good? You checked over your shoulder as he glanced back again for the millionth time. That guy's stalking me, Dabi grunted, jerking his head back over his shoulder again. Who? You asked, looking back into the crowd of people. Dude in the white shirt with sunglasses. You looked back again and waited for some of the students in the hall to clear, only just catching a glimpse of the guy in the white shirt before he disappeared back into the crowd. Do you know him? You asked. No. What does he want? Wants to look up my asshole. How the hell am I supposed to know? He grunted with unease. It's fine, I'm sure it's fine, you said, getting a little riled up due to Dabi's discomfort at being watched. Throughout the day you kept catching glimpses of this guy as well, through classroom windows, disappearing behind the corners of the hallway. Dabi was less than impressed about all of this, but he was too creeped out to actually approach this guy, so he let it slide. It was getting to the end of the day now, and you and Dabi were getting ready to go home. You were walking towards the college doors when ahead you saw the stalker guy from earlier just leaning up against the front doors. Dabi stiffened as he walked towards him, but he didn't falter as he got level with the guy, intending to ignore him and walk straight past. Yeah, you've noticed me, the guy suddenly said with a coy smirk on his face. The coy smirk was knocked from his face instantly though, when Dabi had him slammed up against the wall back first. I'm about to notice your face all over this wall, Dabi growled. The guy let out a low chuckle and composed himself despite still being pressed to the wall, and then boldly stared Dabi down. What do you want? Dabi snarled menacingly. The guy let out a small huff of amusement through his nose and took a small business card from his pocket and held it up between his and Dabi's face. This, he said. Dabi looked at it and then took it roughly from the guy's hand. Blue flames? He asked. Gingerly and curiously you stepped up beside your man and looked at the card. Call the number on it, the guy said as he suddenly shoved Dabi off him. And if I don't? Dabi asked as he stepped back. Then you don't play, the guy replied as he fixed his glasses and pushed his hands into his pockets. You took the card from Dabi and looked it over as your man and this guy stared each other down. Then the guy turned and left, and Dabi scowled at him. Blue flames? You gasped. The V-League? Yeah, Dabi grunted. Oh my freaking goodness, they want you to play for the team? Yeah, probably. That is so freaking awesome. Yeah. Why aren't you excited? This is the opportunity of a lifetime. That asshole has ruined my mood, but I'm stoked. I'm stoked but pissed. Angry happy. Stissed? You offered, mashing two words, stroked and pissed together. Yeah, Dabi said again, in an angry voice. Call the number you need to call, you urged him, grabbing his arm and shaking it. He grunted with acknowledgement, but still didn't move or take the card from you, and you shook him harder. I'll do it in my own time, he snapped. Whoa, calm down, you replied. He's gone now, okay, down boy. We need to go home. You managed to drag Dabi home, and after pestering him for hours, he finally rang the number. But unfortunately, he insisted on taking the call away from you, so you had to wait on tender hooks until he came back. I got tryouts on Wednesday, he said gruffly when he walked back into the lounge room. That's awesome, you squealed. Can I come and watch? No. Oh, why? You pouted. I want to see you play. No, let me do this on my own. You can come to a game if I get into the team. You'll get in, I know you will, you said confidently. Who was that guy, did you ask? Yeah, one of the team members. What a dick. This is going to be interesting then, he chuckled. Good luck on Wednesday. Just for the record, the Blue Flames V-League team is a made-up team. It's not in the Haikyuu universe. I'm just kind of deviating a bit here and making up my own story. And the stalker dude who Dabi's about to get well acquainted with, the other player on the team that he dislikes heavily, is also made up. So don't go looking up this guy trying to find out who he is. But there's going to be chaos that ensues, as you can probably well imagine. And I'll see you in the chapter tomorrow.